Okay, Daily Trader TV, episode 18. It's the 8th of the 2nd, 2018. And actually, nobody's actually asked me this question, but it's perhaps one of the most important questions. So I've asked the question, and I'm going to answer it for you. I'm not qualified to give you advice on individual stocks, so don't ask. Don't follow me into trades, and just make sure that you understand leverage, because you can lose more than your initial stake. So, can you make money trading? Well, if we go to the spreadsheet, there's a couple of things I want to touch on. So, the simple answer is yes, anyone can do it, but you need to be organised, you need plenty of self-discipline, and you need to be committed. My advice to anybody is get started with demo money before you go on to real money, and get the techniques down so that you understand them and you can do them pretty much without thinking. So you can do it. You need self-discipline and commitment. Unfortunately, the vast majority of people don't have any of those things and treat it as just out and out punts, don't have systems, don't have self-discipline, overtrade, ignore any warnings that I give them, and they lose all, not just a bit of their money, they lose all their money. But probably the great beauty of trading is, doesn't care what colour you are, doesn't care where you went to school, where you grew up, doesn't care what you think about transgender issues, feminism, Donald Trump, just doesn't care. You're a profitable trader or you're not. So that's probably the biggest thing that I enjoy about it. It's just, you're either good at it or you're not. So I just want to stress this warning that if you go into trading and you're not self-disciplined and you don't have a plan and you're not committed, you're not going to make any money and you are going to lose money. I don't care how clever you think you are. In fact, I would go so far as to say there is more chance of you losing money the more intelligent you are. Some of the best traders I know aren't at all intelligent. They're just not. They would barely be able to scrape through a GCSE maths course. So if you sat there with a PhD and you think, well, it's got to be made for me, you're in for a rude awakening. This game is very, very simple. In theory, it's emotionally very, very difficult in practice. You've got to get your head around things like what is money, how can you be indifferent to it, trading plans, understanding risk management, position size and heat. So this is a whole new game for most people. And I've seen lots of very, very intelligent people do this appallingly. In the same way as you see in poker. Some people who are very, very intelligent just overthink things completely and can't stick to simple rules in poker. So, but yes, you can do it. You can make money, and you can make money consistently. The winners all have one thing in common, in my opinion. They have a plan, and that plan has a positive expectancy. So you need to get a plan, and then you need to check it to make sure it's got positive expectancy. The losers tend to not have the right emotional tools in the bag for it. They overthink it, and then they end up punting and committing lots of mistakes that I'll be discussing in later videos. If you're losing consistently, even in a good market, you've really got to sit down and think about, is this for you? There's no point in throwing money at these things. The whole purpose of me doing these videos is to start to show you an insight into how a professional would trade. A professional trader trades with risk management in mind. first before anything. Amateurs do the complete opposite. So that's the answer to the question. Yeah, you can, but it's extremely difficult. And the starting point is to learn a plan and develop positive expectancy. Don't expect it to happen overnight, and it's going to take time, self-discipline and commitment. Just looking at the account, I've closed the PhotoMe trade. So we've now got on the board 2 winners, 2 losers, giving us a win ratio of 1. We've got a 1.5% gain on the board, having been up around a 6 to 7% gain. You can see the all-time high. I'm showing you these numbers because everyone asks for them, but they're just meaningless to me. What I'm interested in is this column. I want to see the distribution of R across the account. So at the moment, we've got about half an R loss on the account. Going to have a look at what's going on. We can now take any time I close a trade, it just gets deleted and forgotten about. So we've now got these trades open. There was some news on the account today. Struggling to think what it was. Let's have a look. OTB released a trading update. So every day you get if you're watching for the first time, every day you get these RNSs. So news hit, we call it the wire. You'll get trading updates and half-year and yearly reports and profit warnings. So they've issued a trading update today and it looks fine. Some of the key things that you're looking for is if things are in line, they'll say that performance was in line with the board's expectations, which is basically just telling the analysts that there's nothing untoward going on. Really what we're looking for is ahead of expectations, which could cause an upgrade. But if we look at what's going on, markets have stabilised somewhat. We haven't panicked during the big sell-off. But let's not make no beef about this. There's been a hell of a lot of damage done in this mini storm. So we have a look at the markets. That is not a great move. And I'm keen to see what happens over the next week or so. What I'm hoping is going to happen is we get some consolidation and we start moving back out. What I suspect might happen is that we start getting some wild volatility. But what I don't want to happen is for us to start making new lows. So if we put in a lower high and a lower low, we've got significant issues coming in the UK. Market's still looking a bit broken. US, we're just going to have to see. This is going to take a few weeks. This volatility is probably going to take a week or two to work itself out before we find out what's going to happen next. But there's no point in guessing. We just sit tight. Which is why the risk management is so important. We can bring up some of the stops on these and reduce the risk further. So if I take out, I can now trail at 177.51 because we're out of that trade, which takes some more risk out of the market. So we've now got 8% at risk. And I can start trailing some of these stops and take another 2 to 3R out, which would give me a total risk of 6%. So you can see how we've managed. It's been quite interesting because we've had a week or so of huge volatility. In fact, not high, huge volatility. A lot of people panicking and selling, and you can see how on the model portfolio we've not done that. We've sat tight. We've had one loss taken, which was a swing trade, which is to be expected. We've had 2 scratch winners, and we've closed a position early, just to take some heat out. So what's likely to happen over the next day or two is I'll reduce this open risk to between 5 and 6%, and this weighting will come down to around 50%. So it would be 50% cash, and we'll just wait and see what happens. So nothing dramatic. We'll see what happens over the next few days. I'll cut it there for now.